We are supremely black, dropping content that matters. We are Flake, Rose, and Spears. How y'all doing this week, fellas?
Man, it's been a little bit of a somber week that we'll talk about and discuss here lately. But outside of that, man, week has been good. Um, Trying to get my oldest child registered to vote, so we can get started off right. If you're 18, going out there and register to vote, no need to skip it a year. If you're able to do it, go ahead and do it. So been working on little stuff like that. Still a little frustrated with homeschooling. Teachers, I think adults need tutoring also because the lesson plan has changed since I was in school. Outside of that, everybody healthy, everybody good, can't complain, still working. So that's all I got from you, big kinfolk, J.Flake.
It's your boy Rose, man. It's been a cool week, challenging, I must say, but not in a negative way. More or less of making me strive to be the best version of myself, which I can never knock that. Had a pretty productive week. Went to Dallas to speak with our me and Chris nonprofit, which was very dope. Had some real intense conversations, but very much needed. We have another meeting set up for the end of the month, which I'm looking forward to. We're supposed to be meeting with some people in Dallas that have some pull and connections within the community that would really help us within our outreach and really get some things going. And from my understanding, they have a pretty good hold on Dallas, and they know people in Tyler, Texas, where we originally were going to. And I'm pretty sure if they know people in those areas, they have some connects in Houston as well. So that was great. Outside of that, man, everything good. No complaints at all. What about you, Spirit?
My week been good. I can't complain at all. Besides the shit show I just seen on TV just a minute ago, the presidential debate. Other than that, my weekend's been good. My week's been good. As you stated, we had that conversation, that discussion this weekend, and it was very profound, deep. It was interesting and funny as well, when you hear different perspectives and different dynamics, but things get lost in translation because, one, some people can't relate. Two, because some people are stuck in a mindset that is not articulated the way that everybody else wants to either listen, or the person speaking doesn't want to get on everybody else's level and speak to them where they can meet them at. So, that dynamic is always interesting, but it's needed as well, because you can see the different logic and ideology of people, but then you can also see where people's cutting off limit is at, or where they stop to try to understand, and where they get frustrated, or they be like, oh, I'm not dealing with this person, or where they say, okay, I'm gonna find a way to look beyond the differences or the difference of logic, but I'm gonna try to meet them where they're at, and they're gonna try to meet me where they're at, so we could come to an understanding and make this work. But the conversation overall was great. It was good. Then, after the conversation, we had a good time. We turned up, had some fun, a great time with my boy D.Rose. So the weekend was great. The week has been good. I can't complain. I'm about to start doing something that is probably much needed for me. I'm about to start journaling. And so I think that would just help me get my visions, but also my thoughts together, and help me be more successful in life versus just thinking things down. And I had people talk to me, and I had a Sunday, I had a breakdown moment or whatever, where I was just down, but I asked some people close to me, like, where did I go wrong, trying to be transparent. And a lot of them just said, I be moving around too much. And so the thing came up where it's like, okay, I need to journal. So I'm gonna try this journaling thing out. I never tried it before, to get my thoughts written out, to get an actual process, so then I can stay structured and dedicated to my visions and my goals and my desires, versus just coming in with a vision or a thought And then when my next thought come in, I'm moving on to that versus staying focused on what I had prior. So that's how my week it was. Appreciate y'all for asking, but yeah, that was how my week was.
Oh yeah, I forgot to even mention this. My boy King James is back into the finals, so yeah, hype about that. So we're gonna see. Got a little bread out there put on it, so we might come up on a little something.
Hold on, somebody made that bet?
I know some diehard Heat fans, so they want to put a couple dollars on it. So please don't mind.
I mean,
yeah,
but to be honest, overall team 1 through, I'm gonna say 10 because of the rotation. That's probably all they playing right now. But if we want to say what's on the bench 1 through 15, he got better players 1 through 15. It's just,
yeah, I would agree, but I was willing to make whatever bet anybody wanted to put on there. So,
but AD and LeBron, LeBron and AD is tough to beat in the 7-game series. Period.
Right.
Overall team, he got the better roster. But again, LeBron and AD is going to be hard to beat in the 7-game series, and I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I would say more complete roster. I ain't gonna say better because better you'd have to have LeBron on your squad in that.
But when you got 2 players out of a 15 and you got 3 through damn near, the only other person that I would take from the Heat, that I would take from LA over anybody on the Heat would be Rondo.
I could give you that. It's just, I think it's going to be a great matchup. I said when the Heat had made that trade at the break and they had got those players from Memphis, I said that they had a good chance to represent the Eastern Conference in the championship because I knew that squad was going to be good enough to beat Giannis because they got Iggy and Jay Crowder, which is huge pieces. And they've been a part of playoff runs before or deep playoff runs. So I think it's going to be interesting. It'll be something to kind of take our mind off of the everyday shenanigans that we're dealing with. So we can get into the topic, though. I just had to throw that out there. My boy King James.
No, it's respected. I don't know where to begin with this topic, but I'm just gonna say the verdict of Breonna Taylor. Like, where do we start? Where do we begin? And then with the news that came out today that they lied about the forensics and the ballistics of Breonna Taylor's boyfriend shooting a cop. Like, I'm at a loss of words, so I'm gonna let y'all take it over because right now I might get emotional more so than I can actually speak logic or make sense or even come from a clear-headed or clear-minded even thought process. But I will say this: what Flake has been saying, you a bitch, my nigga, and I ain't even gonna say your name, but I gotta say nigga on this one. You a whole little bitch to be up there lying on, just to be lying, period, over somebody who is supposed to be a queen to you. You're a straight bitch. And that's all. I'm gonna leave it at that for right now, and I'm gonna let y'all go.
Yeah, I completely agree where you're coming from, and I respect you for taking time to analyze your thoughts before just speaking completely out of emotion because I think it's a real emotion. Even I'm collecting my thoughts as I'm speaking about it now. But him lying about that is just, I'm with you in regards to just kind of not really knowing how to find the words for it. But for me, it was more or less for him to come out and see that I think he was elected to become, looks like he did it from his political progression. And it was at the loss of Breonna's life is where he had took that. And for him to even stand in front of America and say that he viewed that from a black man's perspective, I don't care what any man, any ethnicity that you come from, for you to just blatantly lie to cover up for them. And it seems that he has a very firm stance with standing with the people in blue, which is fine if they are doing their job the correct way. But lying, knowing that somebody lost their life and what you presented to the grand jury was the misfiring into the wall, going back into that over Breonna's life was never mentioned in the entire thing. That's disheartening, honestly, man. It's because I took a step back from an emotional view and lens to see, okay, maybe we are just emotionally looking at it, but everything that's being reported since that decision, you just blatantly lied, bro. And everything that you did was to your advantage to show your support to people that honestly don't care about people or a life that was lost in this particular issue. It's just, there's no way to look at that. No matter whatever gains or political gains you were going to get, there was still a young lady that lost her life in a situation that was completely botched. And even some of the SWAT people have came out, which I hate that they waited to after the decision to come out and say it, but to say that they had a lot of concerns in regards to even raiding Breonna's house, and there was a lot of wrongs with it. They didn't come out and say like what specifics, but that has been, reported on several news outlets, which of course would be swept under the rug. But for people that even executed the raid and for how it to turn out and to that boy decision, that's sad, man. And so, rising power to Breonna Taylor, and we're still going to, scream to the top of our lungs, justice for you, no matter what we're kind of faced with at this particular moment. But Flake, I'll let you take it from here.
Man, look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and it's a shame that we here now that I wasn't even surprised. When they started boarding up downtown and closing gas stations and saying that the court is gonna be closed for the entire week, I knew right then what was coming. I knew right, but something in me still had a little bit of hope. I still had like 25, 30% of hope in me. But the rest of me was like, they ain't doing this for no reason. They know they wrong. They know what this is about to cause. About to cause civil unrest. So let's go ahead before we make the announcement. Go ahead and board everything up. Go ahead, close everything down. So won't nobody won't nothing get burned down or torn up down here, whatever. Still some stuff still got torn up at the end of the day. But you knew right then that you was wrong. If you don't know you wrong, you have no reason to be prepared for a situation like this. You don't have any reason. The thing that's kind of getting me also is, some people probably gonna disagree when I get finished on what I got to say with one part of it, but just hear me out on it. But one thing that's coming out is that it was another group. I can't remember if it was a SWAT team or something like that, but they have come out here recently and said her house was not even on the list of houses. They said, we're going to go through here and we're going to raid all of these houses. And then they said, is there anything else? And they was like, no, you good. The man said, I thought we was done for the night until we got a call and said, shots fired. And he said he was confused because they were supposed to have been done with everything they was doing for the day. It was not even on the list. So somebody has to be responsible. If you don't want to put it on the police officers, which, and like I said, some people gonna disagree, which I can understand not putting it on police officers because they was doing what they were told to do. If you go in and somebody shoot at you and you shoot back because you expect somebody to be there by themselves, I can understand the police officers fire back. I can understand that. Now, the problem that we have here is a mix-up in the language. You say you did a no-knock warrant, but you say you did not. Then you said you announced yourself, but you got a no-knock warrant. Why are you even doing that? You said that she was a low person of interest. You was wanting to search the house for drugs. I've seen those warrants where, not actually read it, but I've seen how police officers do those warrants. If that person is not a threat, those people usually show up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night. They don't be showing up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and pulling kick doors. No, they don't do that. They just not police. We got a warrant. We need to search. They tear up your house and then leave. The most violence they do is turn up your house, turn it upside down, flip your couches and everything else, and then they leave because that person is not a violent person or a person of low interest. So therefore, we just looking for, we can find some more evidence. We're going to come over here, we're going to tear your house up, and then we're going to go. They don't pop up no 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and busting doors down. Normally, they usually don't do that. Then also the man was already arrested. So we can go back to that. So it should have stopped there. The man already arrested. Y'all know she ain't been dating the man in the last 4 or 5 months. Y'all trying to use that now to drag her name in the mud. The woman is dead, and y'all still trying to drag her name in the mud. They're talking about, well, he was using her address and putting her phone number, but y'all been surveillance in her house, so you know all he been doing is maybe picking up a package and leave. Y'all ain't seen him go in the house. Then they try to put it on the boyfriend and say, well, if he must have thought it was him, then he had to been, what's the reason for all that? Well, we know some men are crazy. When they lose that woman, we know some men are crazy and they do pop-ups and they make threats, this, that, and the other. We all know, don't act like it's nothing new. They got a show about it every Sunday you can watch called Snap, where men is doing crazy stuff all day long. They got that. So
It's
then,
actually the woman doing the crazy stuff on Snap, but I give it to
well,
you.
yeah, one of them shows, you know how it go. Fuck, crazy stuff. We know this happens. And then you say, and then we find out that one of the police officers was not shot by the boyfriend. And I can believe that because the boyfriend said I gave a warning shot. He's been saying it the whole time. I gave a warning shot when the door busted open. Basically, if you got your gun license and if you have been to gun training class, they tell you before you shoot somebody, give that warning shot. He said I shot one time as a warning shot, and then next thing I know, 20, 30 rounds went off. So this whole story is a mix-up. You can arrest the police officers for the cover-up because the cover-up is crazy. The cover-up is embarrassing to anybody in Kentucky. They should know anybody police officer. You done had her mama run from hospital to hospital looking for her, back and forth, talking about nah, she wasn't hurt, and knowing she got killed. You tried to cover that up. But the man who signed off on this should be very responsible for this. You should be responsible for this. If you don't want to give it to the police officer, the person who signed off on this ought to be responsible for her life and ought to be charged. Somebody got to be held responsible. You just can't walk away scot-free. And then the charges they did give wasn't even pertaining to her house. It was because bullets went into other people's houses. It's the reason why the man even got charged, which is ridiculous to me. Like that. All right, it should be 3 counts of that because bullets went through 3 different houses, 3 different apartments. Not just 1 count. Should be 3 counts. I think I've read long enough. I don't know. I guess no matter how much I think about it, none of this will make not a lick of sense to me at all.
Yeah, I get it. It's like it was another thing. There was like 2 other things that were presented within like the last 24 to 48 hours. Is that that boy didn't even present to the grand jury on charges for murder of Breonna Taylor. And also, there was a recording released from a body cam, and there was another officer speaking to the guy, the other boy that was charged for the wonton, is that he was asking about the shell casings, trying to figure out if it was his or theirs that had shot it. And, just looking into what does a criminal investigation look like, if it's an officer-related shooting, they're supposed to leave the scene until the actual investigators get there. So for him to even be looking for shell casings already shows that there was wrongdoing. Because if you just fired out of your fear of safety, why are you still at that premises? And why are you looking for shell casings as if that you're the investigator? So he didn't ask for charges, and the guy's looking for shell casings to try to cover up what had been fired and where they were fired from, because we all know that once they picked it up and once they do ballistics, you could tell where the gun was fired and what angle they came from and things of that nature. So just all around fucked up, to be honest with you.
Oh, and they also sent the ambulance away as well.
Yeah.
When the ambulance got there, told y'all can go away. We don't need y'all.
Yeah. She wasn't hurt. Right.
I mean, there ain't no excuse. I'm not even gonna try to find the logic to it. The shit is just fucked up all the way around from the beginning. Again, the one time no knock warrant, whatever, didn't have her address on it. Like, and essentially, yes, they were surveilling her house because of her ex and all this other stuff, but he was already in custody long before they even went to do that raid. Then everything that lines up with it is just like, it's just ridiculous. And I can't even, I mean, there's no point in trying to fathom your mind around it. It's just crooked cops, a crooked AG doing stuff for political purposes to try to get votes and try to further his political career because of the people that he agree with and the people that he think gonna protect him or whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's just right deceit and deceiving and atrocity what happened to the Queen Breonna Taylor. But then more so, it shows you where we stand as Black people in America when a fucking glass window and some fucking sheet rock is the reason why somebody gets fired over a life being taken away. Like, not charged, but fired. But then we got a whole dead queen over here, and there's no charges brought up for that. But for endangering a man, a woman, and a child who still have their life, who was not hit, who are able to spend time with their family, kiss their loved ones, tell them I love you, drive, walk, run, laugh, joy, cry, whatever. But we got somebody who lost their life and there's no charges. Then the cover up, like you said, Flake, send the ambulance home. She's all right. Not telling her mama where she at when her mama's looking for her for hours. Lying and saying the boyfriend, the current boyfriend, shot a cop, but he shot a warning shot. And I can't remember exactly how many shots they shot into the apartment or whatever, but I want to say 20 to 30 something, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was up to 40. I think it was between 30 and 40 shots.
Okay. For one shot you hear ring, then I can't speak on that no more. At the end of the day, it is an atrocity. The attorney general needs to be charged. The cops need to be charged. The case needs to be reopened since we found out that he lied, but then all this other factors are coming up. But then the SWAT team who didn't say shit for months, they need to be fired at least. Because I'm not gonna say you should be charged for a murder when, well, shit, you might need to be charged for a murder when you didn't speak up and you knew some shit went down and was wrong about it and whatnot. But the whole Louisville, Kentucky police department needs to go. Like, they need to fire all them and bring new people in. Like with the academy people, I don't know what they need to do, but this shit just not right. And this shit don't sit right. And the shit is infuriating. And it's just, I mean, you don't want to lose hope as a people, but how can you keep hope when stuff like this happens? And then, as you always say, Flake, your skin folk ain't your kin folk, but one of your skin folk lie for the elevation of his political status. I don't know. I can't. I mean, I don't know what to say. What else to say? The shit is just baffling to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a damn shame. And what's so crazy is, in speaking and bringing up voting, and this is why I always say from time to time that your local voting is more important than your presidential vote. I say all the time, he got voted in. and he was running off being the first black AG in Kentucky. That's what he was running off of. That's the hand he played and got voted in, only to do shit like this. That's why I say most of everybody don't be paying attention to you local. These local elections affect you more on a daily basis than the president ever will. And this is a prime example of that. Because this could have been your family member. This could have been you. This could have been this could have been your daughter. You know what I'm saying? I got an 18-year-old daughter up there who probably within the next 3-4 years is gonna be moving out, having a boyfriend. And damn it, y'all expect me to remain calm if this shit happened to one of my kids. Ain't no fucking way. I would tear that motherfucker down. I would tear it down. They talking about peaceful protest. Nigga, how can you be peaceful? Nigga, how? You want folks to be peaceful, but how? Peaceful didn't work. It didn't work. They got some things changed. But y'all sick dogs on them. Y'all put fire hoses on them. Y'all shot the man. Y'all shot MLK. The FBI had something to do with that. And y'all want us to remain peaceful. Y'all done killed everybody who tried to come through here and make a change for black folks. But y'all don't want us here. I don't understand. You want us here, but you don't want us here. I tell you what, United States of America. Y'all don't want us here. Y'all motherfuckers can give us, man, we ain't got to have the best land. How about that? How about you give us Montana, you give us North Dakota, you give us South Dakota, goddamn, you give us Maine, you can give us Washington. I know it's a lot of white folks in Washington. Get them all out there. Give us the border of Canada.
Wyoming.
Give us Wyoming. And we'll be all right. You know, give us all that land and we'll leave y'all alone. And we have our own country, we'll leave y'all alone.
I completely agree with your point, but I don't want Vermont or Maine. Can we take it to the south? hey, bro, not crossing over the situation in your state, because I think it was very impactful, and I can see the emotion in it. But nah, bro, give us along the southern border to the west or something. Like, I'm straight on Vermont. Like, hell no.
All right. Well, give us everything. I tell you what, give us everything you took from Mexico. How about that? You give us everything you took from Mexico.
You can give us Texas big enough.
Yeah, yeah. I can see us now writing that letter to Jim McKeon. Like, look, bro, we messed up. We ain't really want Vermont.
It's cold, the motherfucker.
It's cold. Right. It's too cold up here, bro. Too cold. We were bullshitting. But nah, man, like, honestly, I'm glad that we can, always find some human. And that's really, you can't make peace with it because your spirit is been altered and things like that. But I think this just really, to me, it just shows, the black power that we do have is that no matter the situation, we always will find a way to laugh. We'll find a way to get through it. But to your point, it's old, man. Like, and I'm younger than you all, but it just seems like, yes, we can look back on the civil rights movement. We can look back on a lot of different things, but I don't feel like much has really changed, and we're still asking and fighting for those same things. And I think we discussed this Saturday amongst our group, is this generation just isn't going to sit back and die, a mental slave or a physical slave to these people. So kind of tying it back in, not to Breonna situation, but to, as you were saying, the WWE debate that they had today, with him telling white supremacists to groups to stand back but stand by. I won't go too much into this because we do have a platform that we definitely want to come across as in an ignorant way. But if you could read between the lines, if anybody ever tells you to stand back but also stand by, you will be doing you and your family a huge disservice and injustice if you don't prepare for whatever could come with those exact statements from their leader. So as we talk, as we move, just make sure we're strategic and stay safe in some places, but also more importantly, stay dangerous in most places. So kind of tied up with that, but we're in a mental war here, and we just got to be prepared for it. More important than anything. So, you know, laugh, cry, hug, but still don't forget to, you know, plan, strategize, and keep your people safe. Because it's a cold world that we're living in. If we have people that are willing to cover up lies and not hold people accountable on that large of a scale with that much public attention, then we know for a fact if it was any instance where it could be something that was swept under the rug, that could very well be us or anybody else that we love or just know. So, you know, just be mindful, stay on your pivot, and, you know, protect your loved ones, but also let them know that you love them as well, because it's about to get real. And I won't say too much, but the real ones understand. So stand on.
I just want to say this, and again, I mean, it's on topic, but so from the conversation Saturday, you know, my pops came for the first time or whatnot. So my pops talked to me about the conversation, and he was like, he liked it, but he was like, son, I just want to tell you, all you want to do is fight. Like, you just want to fight. And he was like, you can't do that. And this was before the verdict came out, I believe, and before we found out that the AG lied about, you know, the ballistics and everything. But my thing to my father was, we're going to have to fight. And whatever has happened throughout history without war or a fight for a political or liberal, liberating or revolutionary thing to be done without war. And I know some people gonna be with it, some people not, but y'all need to be ready to go to war, because unless we fight, they gonna take us out one by one. No matter if that one by one take 100 years or if it take 10. Because without us doing more than just protesting, rioting, and looting, which I say from jump, I'm against rioting and looting, unless it's on the AG's house or the murderer's house. But just tearing up your own city, I'm against that. But we're gonna have to fight, because just sitting back and sitting on your ass, like you said, Rose, ain't done nothing. We have gained so much since the civil rights movement in the beginning, but we have also taken many steps back, because we don't have nobody like a Malcolm, a Martin, a Marcus Garvey. We don't have even to this stance, like no new Minister Farrakhan's or no new, even though I call him a hoe, but he did some great things, Honorable Elijah Muhammad's and stuff. We don't have no new people that dynamic. We got people trying to do work, and I'm not going to take nothing away from you. People trying to do work. But we got so many people with so many different agendas that we can't get the core of us to follow and get behind to support, because I want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do that. And we can't agree on attacking one thing at a time, then moving to the next. But like Rose said, prepare yourself. And the people who know, I know it's not for everybody, and everybody not going to be with it, but I'm going to die behind mine, and I'm going to die for mine. So for the ones who are prepared, for the soldiers, just be ready, because they're going to try to assassinate us slowly and surely. They want us to.
Yeah. And when I say that, it's coming from a place of, it's not necessarily a physical war, because I'm very mindful of how that could be misleading to people. So just to kind of give a little bit more insight on that, I come from a place where you just have to be prepared for it, but more mentally than anything, just going back to the point where we've been fighting for so long, and I know it's tiring, I know it's draining. Every day it seems like it's something. But if you're not even mentally or physically prepared for what's going on in the world and what can continue to happen, you may give up. And we can't allow ourselves to be drained with all the things that are going to continue to happen, because you have to understand this is a part of their game. And the more that they can keep us mentally unbalanced, then that makes us actually physically weaker. And I hope that makes sense to people. So it's not necessarily a physical act of war, it's a mental act of war. So with that, it's just more or less of just being action-based in regards to it and being prepared for whatever may come. And really, and truthfully, I talked about this with one of my homegirls, is quit expecting for them to be on our side in a game and a system that they never created for us to be a part of. So however you can contribute, just be prepared and get your people prepared, whether you're going to be a part of making sure that people are mentally strong for that, or you're going to be making sure that people are physically strong for what may come. But we just have to be strategic with how we go about it, because everybody has a place within this revolution, that it will be televised. Just know your role and play it well, because we talked about that at the meeting as well. As everybody is different, which is the beauty of life. But more importantly, knowing your role and how good you are at doing it makes it easier for those people that aren't as talented in those areas, which will help everybody move forward collectively, and not, as to Chris's point, and with individual agendas, but we're all trying to fight for the right cause.
Yeah, situations like this, you can't have an individual agenda. We got to move as a team. You got to move with purpose. And like you said, everybody, if you're not about being a foot soldier, like we said, we're not talking about physical combat, but a foot soldier's gonna go out and protest. A foot soldier's gonna go and do that. We got, you might not be one of the people, but you might be a people that's great with words, that can type up a good speech or something like that, or you might be somebody who can build a website to get the word out, or whatever needs to be done. So everybody can have their own. You might just be a person that hand out water and make sure everybody ate, what I'm saying, during a certain part of a movement or wherever they may be for that time frame. So so yeah, everybody can have a part, everybody can have a role. Once again, and people have said, all they giving you to stop this is voting. Some people don't understand why they saying vote. Well, it ain't about vote for president. Vote. They talking about voting for your local people. I know I just said this earlier, but when you vote for your local election, you would choose who the AG is. You would choose who these judges are that handed down these harsh sentences to unfair sentences to people. You can vote for that. You can vote for the mayor. You can vote for whoever's over your ward that might help you get a playground in your side of town, or a walking trail, or whatever it is to make your side of town look a little bit better. So don't ignore those things, because like I said, that stuff is very important. And I bring it up because presidential election come around the corner, but it's happening every 4 years. Right behind that is going to be another local election coming up. Some people going to be preparing for a local election. So look who those people are and study those people as much as you study the presidents and whatnot, and make a decision. And whoever speaks to your heart, I'm not going to tell you which way to vote. Whoever speaks to your heart and what you need done best, that's who you need to be voting for. When you go to these local elections, you go in these polls and vote. Since some of them ain't even got nobody to go up against. Some, it's just one name on there. And they don't even have anybody to go up against. And that person might be the same person been doing the wrong stuff for 10 years, but nobody is paying attention to local election or challenging it to get that person and move that person out the way. So just keep in mind that that's very important as well. Some of them, you can, your mayor vote gets your chief of police in. So depending on the mayor you vote in, that's going to be the person that can hire the next person that's over that police department. They can make a change within the police department that you have a problem with. So just make sure you do that. Just make sure you're looking at that. And to the man that's on, the black man that's on Instagram, I'm not going to say your name, boy, but you a hoe. and you a bitch, and because you out here dragging Breonna Taylor name through the mud. I don't understand why you on Instagram bringing up the fact that she rented a car for her ex-boyfriend 4 years ago, and the dead body was found in the car. What they got to do with anything? She was, she was, she didn't get in trouble for that. They said she didn't know nothing about that. She was nowhere in the car. She rented a car and said, "Look, he said he need to use it. I rent the car for him," and that was it. She had nothing to do with that. Police didn't never. They questioned her about it and let her go about her way. I don't understand why our own want to tear down the queen on some mess like that she ain't got nothing to do with it. And they, and as they always do, she wasn't a model citizen. We already got the other side trying to do that already, because she might have made a mistake and started dating somebody who was involved in drugs. Okay, she left him because of that. Y'all don't bring up that part. And she broke up with the man because of that, because she had a job in nursing. So we got to stop that BS. I don't even understand the point the boy trying to make. You ain't making no point. So you just want to do stuff for likes and comments, man. That shit getting tiring, man. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, man, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. And whoever know him, you need to smack the boy. When you see him, the boy needs to be smacked. Straight up and down.
And on top of that, it kind of kills me when people bring up people's past as if there's not a perfect human being out here, and I don't really know what you expect to get or what's your gain out of that besides, like you said, likes and comments. But that's just foolish. I don't know anybody that hasn't did anything wrong in their entire life. Like, stop it. So
it ain't nobody. You
yeah.
get to dig. You get to dig and far enough in four skeletons, you gonna find out a whole lot about people.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's true. What's our time looking like, Flake?
Man, we done got to move. I lost track. My bad, y'all.
No, you good.
We got about 10 minutes.
Anything else that y'all want to kind of speak on? Oh, it's a good place to wrap it up.
Oh,
how I'm feeling.
No, not really. I'll be honest with you. No.
No, I don't have nothing to speak on either. Nothing else to speak on. No. I don't got nowhere else to go.
Yeah. I would kind of close it out with this, though. I do really, really hope that Breonna Taylor and her family gets justice. And I do hope that it is presented in court again. And people that have either misled the public, lied on reports, are all held accountable. Because if not, this could probably go down as one of the biggest cover-ups and that I've ever seen. So, rising power to Miss Breonna Taylor, and definitely justice for her and her family, and more importantly, the city of the city of Louisville. I do have some extended family that lives there, and I understand how the unrest is, and it just seems as if that when you live in those communities that are already hard enough to make it, seeing and being a part of things like this does not make that climate any better. So justice for Breonna. Our prayers go out to the family still, and my prayer still goes out to the city of Louisville, especially people in the community that was severely impacted by this decision. That feels like there's not a lot of things that goes well in those tough environments. So that's what I will leave it with for sure.
And shout out to my kin folks up there, Erica and Caitlin, man, boots on the ground. They at every protest that's going out when they got time. They there, keep me updated what's going out there. So shout out to them. Y'all be safe, protect yourself out there protesting. And here at Supremely Black Podcast, we appreciate what y'all do.
For me, I'm just gonna leave y'all with keep your head up. Try to stay sane in an insane world. I'm not even gonna say try to be strong. because it's okay to be weak at times. But just make sure you let that shit out and you don't let it build up. And then, yeah, just want to say love y'all and stay strong, stay focused, and stay diligent. If y'all don't got nothing else, I'm going to go into the Black Business Minute for this week. But if y'all got something else to touch on, just let me know, and I'll put a pause on it.
No, you can go ahead. I'm just gonna save mine for when we officially close out.
All right, so for the Black Business Minute this week, it's another podcast. It's called Carefree and Black Diaries. I happened to come up on it when I was actually listening to our podcast or whatnot on Apple Podcasts. And so it's hosted by Shakira White. And the little synopsis of the podcast is it's basically like what we do and what we got, but it's just one Black queen. And so welcome to Carefree Black and Black Diaries, where we discuss everything from culture, politics, music, and education, but with a dash of hood on the rocks. Just a Black girl navigating this thing called life and documenting it along the way. And so again, I just want to shout out to her because again, she's doing things for the culture and she's trying to get her voice out there, but also talk about impactful things that matter in this world versus just, the regular stuff that we tend to talk about as Black people, which is entertainment, money, and, sex. So she's doing some big things out there and her podcast is dope. I checked a couple of episodes out because, again, I just got put up on it. So I checked a couple of episodes out, and so I just want to salute the queen and just say shout out. And we appreciate you for what you've been doing. And that's it. That's a Black Business Minute from Supremely Black this week.
Hey, salute to them. Salute to her. Is it like a group of people, just her?
Just her.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
Flake must not be able to unmute right now, so there ain't no dead air.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if because he can't read the mute. Oh, never mind. He got it.
Nah, it was another message coming through blocking it. It was just sitting there for the longest. For our Supremely Black Person of the Week, I want to give a special shout out to one member of the Breakfast Club, Miss Angela Lee. Angela Yee. I'm sorry, I said Angela Lee. Lord have mercy. Angela Yee. So for so for all my women out there, that is one woman
like
to follow.
women.
Yeah, I did. I sure did. Charlotte McGay and Angela Lee. But yeah, Angela Yee, third of the Breakfast Club, man. That's a strong Black woman to follow, especially as a businesswoman. She started off as assistant for Wu-Tang, then had her own little radio show on satellite radio back when that first was going on. And now she's been on Breakfast Club for 10 years. She got a podcast as well called Lip Service that drops every Friday about, female empowerment, the sexiness in the bedroom, let yourself free, being able to do that and not being scared. Talk about relationship issues as well. She also is an entrepreneur. She got a juice bar in Brooklyn. She also just came out with a coffee company that, matter of fact, I think it just popped today. I'm gonna have to look up the name real quick, but while I'm doing that, I will also talk about she's also in the real estate. She has houses in around New York area and also in Detroit. So man, that's a lady that's really been about her business and took the things that she has from the ground up and been doing her thing. So I know some people don't care too much for the Breakfast Club. However, watch out for that young lady, man, that's on the rise, because she's been out there doing a lot of things with her own Black-owned coffee company, her own Black-owned juice bar, and doing her thing with real estate along with broadcasting on the radio. And she has her own Angela Yee Day in New York as well. So big shout out to Angela Yee as being our Supremely Black Person of the week.
I see you, Angela. Angela. Hey, boy, just sitting there thinking about that Webby got me weak, man. But we go ahead.
Man, that joke's too fun.
It took him, man, 30 minutes to get that little thing done, bro. Yeah, we could. But yeah, we could close it out though. I just leave people with this, man. It's been just something that's been sitting on me heavy. It's kind of what gets me through the day. So from our King Nipsey, you know, it's a few people from every generation that wasn't supposed to make it out, but they decode the matrix. That's what I leave people with. That's just kind of the saying that I live by right now. So keep decoding it. And much love.
Okay. My fault. I forgot I'm next because Flake closed us out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave y'all with this quote from James Baldwin. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. So just be ready to face adversity, fellas and queens, and just be ready to stand assured and stand firm in who you are as a person, but also whoever you believe in, your believer made you to be. So whoever God made you to be, the higher power made you to be, and stand knowing that you are a king, that you are a queen, or that you are a divine person made with a purpose. So remember, don't be afraid to face things and to combat things because again, nothing can be changed unless it's faced. So just keep that in mind. And that's what I'll leave y'all with. And I love y'all.
As always, Dane Cameron, you a bitch. And yeah.
A whole bitch. A whole bitch ass nigga too.
Niggas gonna nig. I know we had an episode we're gonna stop saying nigga, but
he a whole
like I say,
like, he get it
niggas
out.
gonna nig, and he one of them for sure. But for the rest of our people, all those.
He is Stephen from Django. I just had to get that out there. He is Stephen from Django.
Who that down there now? But for the rest of our people, for all my queens out there, put your crown on, tilt that thing to the side, let them know you are a queen. For all our kings out there, put your crown on, tilt that thing to the side, let them know you are a king. We are supremely black, and we out. Y'all be easy.